Hi.
Say that again.
Hi, my name is Mark. Just last night, I played a gig with this cover band I'm in.
Look at this dude. No.
And I thought, maybe I should do a video sharing some tips on live playing. Yep, that pretty much sums it all. It's not really an innovative idea, it's just sort of a fill-in video. Okay, but actually being serious about this, I actually thought about doing this video for a while now. But to be completely honest, I wasn't really feeling like talking about this sort of a thing for the last few weeks. But since I had a gig last night, I thought, well, let's just get into it.
Good for you.
If you've been playing in bands or you've been gigging for a while, you probably know a bunch of these. And even though I'm just going to share 5 tips with you, there's a ton more. But who knows, if this video turns out to be really good and gets a good amount of views, perhaps I'll do another 5 tips. Leave it in the comments below if you'd like to see one of these.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Even though I'm a young guitar player, I've been gigging for years. I've been gigging since I was, I don't know, probably 12 or something.
Yes,
Oh, really?
But one thing I've noticed is that the latest generations of guitar players aren't really into gigging and playing with other people.
And when I'm with friends, I like to have fun.
So if you're not used to gigging, this video is also helpful to you. I can't really blame them that much. I'm pretty antisocial myself, but a big part of playing an instrument is playing with other people. Not only do you get a different type of vibe than just playing in your room and along with backing tracks, but it also makes you play differently. Whether you've been playing for years and gigging for years, or you just started playing, or maybe you've been playing for a while and you're just going to start gigging or you're thinking about it, these tips will be kind of important for you.
We'll see about that.
Before we get straight into it, I just want to say that timestamps will be on the description below, and while you're down there, please consider subscribing and turning on all the notifications. YouTube's been acting a little bit weird lately. Even if you subscribe to a channel, that channel's videos will probably not show up on your subscription box. And even if you ring the little bell notification thingy below, you still may not really be notified of that channel's content. So if you want to stay tuned to the content of your favorite creators, you really gotta turn on all the notifications. Not just occasional notifications, like all the notifications.
Of course, but maybe.
But hey, even if you don't care for none of that, I have a giveaway that you might be interested in. So please, stay tuned.
Now we're talking.
Oh, and while you're down there, please consider leaving a like, and perhaps checking out some of my other videos after this one. Maybe you'd like to check out 10 tips on making the audience think that you look and sound like a pro. Or even maybe, if you're playing guitar and they're not doing this, you're probably playing guitar wrong. And lastly but not leastly, what about learn this one riff and learn all the picking techniques and perhaps even get a girlfriend? All of those videos will be either on the description below, on the card section right there, and on the annotations of the end screen. So please, stay tuned.
I prefer not to.
So yeah, I guess now we can get straight into it.
What took you so long?
Okay, so tip number 1 is, if you're a guitar player or a bass player, you're probably used to playing sitting down. And there's no problem in playing sitting down. But unless you're going to play sitting down during the gig, you should probably practice your repertoire standing up, with your instrument in a strap.
He's right. Do you know that?
Doesn't matter how proficient you are at your instrument, and doesn't matter how many years you've been playing for, playing standing up will generally feel a little bit differently, and will make you play a little bit differently than how you play when you're sitting down. For instance, just look at it like this. If you're playing standing up, your guitar will probably hang like this, neck first, instead of when you're sitting down or you have your guitar on your legs, and the neck is pretty much straight, right? There will be a big difference on your technique when playing like this, than when playing like this. Not only will your technique sort of change, or will it have to change, but also you'll have to play quite a bit standing up and with a strap to find out the most comfortable way for you to play. Many guys like to play with their instruments way down. It makes us look cool and like a rock star and all, but it really isn't that good for playing. I mean, sure, if you're just playing power chords all night, it may work, but still, your wrist will probably be way far out. And if you want to get as close as possible to your sitting position, well, your guitar will be way up. And even though that's really the best way to have your guitar hanging or your bass hanging, and unless you'll be playing Wonderwall all night, you'll probably look like a nerd. But again, if it feels really comfortable, just do it. I mean, I don't really have my guitars super low, but I have them reasonably high. Sure, there are some things that I probably can't do as proficiently, but that's what you call a compromise, right? You gotta try it out for yourself and find out what's the most comfortable way possible. And also, we gotta mention the almighty Master Guthrie Govan when he says, well, when you're playing guitar on stage, you're working, and when you're working, it's about doing your job right. Sure, you may want to look cool and put out a good show, but it's probably better for you to be able to play your parts correctly and maybe look like a nerd than to fail your parts because you want to look cool. Who knows, maybe just some food for thought.
My brain hurts!
Okay, so tip number 2 kind of brings us back to the first one, which is be able to use your gear. When you're playing live, anything can happen. Your gear can break down, maybe your guitar doesn't go out of tune, then you go to play live and it goes way out of tune. Or maybe you have this trusty cable from a known brand and it breaks down and you're like,
but I don't really have another cable.
you gotta be able to work around your gear. Let's say that you only need like 2 cables to play the gig. One for your guitar to your tuner pedal, for instance, then another cable from your tuner pedal to your amp. If you're going to use 2 cables, at least have 4 cables.
That's too much, man.
Or if a cable breaks down or it starts to cut off. And it's not just about getting extra stuff. Let's say for instance that you have your guitar and then you break a string. Can you manage to play the rest of the song without that string? Or can you find a way around it? Or maybe you have an amplifier with a dirty channel and a clean channel and then your foot switch breaks down. Are you able to then quickly use your volume knob to get from clean to dirty? Or maybe you have the song that really needs a special effect like a delay or a chorus or something, and then your pedal breaks down and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Well, one thing you should do is maybe check my video on how to get effects from your guitar without really having effects pedals. But after that, get used to your instrument. Get used to your gear. You got to know which cables connect to where and which buttons do what. Let's say for instance that you have your own sound system or a PA system or your own mixing desk. Do you know how to work with that gear? Does the rest of the band even know how to work with that gear? You should be able to do it because it's your gear. You can't really waste time on like, oh, which cable goes where and what should I do now?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
If you don't know how to do it, grab a professional. If you don't want to grab a professional or maybe you want to do it all by yourself, you really gotta know how to do it by yourself.
Meh.
Maybe if this is your first gig or something, the day before the gig or 2 days before the gig, really grab all of your pieces of gear and try to work around them. Try to understand how stuff works and how stuff doesn't work.
No! God, please, no!
Number 3, even though it may be slightly obvious to some of you, is be nice.
Oh, really?
Nobody likes to work with an asshole, right? But it's not really just about being the guy that's not nice to everyone. When you get to the venue or to the location of the gig, say hello to everyone. Present yourself to everyone. Even if you already know how things are supposed to go down, ask everyone how you're supposed to lay your gear down or maybe where you're going to play. Really be the nice guy of the group. Even if the other guys and the people on the venue aren't really that nice, which may happen, that really isn't an excuse for you to be the worst guy of the group and to not be nice and polite. Oh yeah, and being nice also applies to being there on time. Not being 5 minutes late, not being 1 minute late, not being 1 hour late or half an hour late, being there on time. Preferably 5 minutes early or something.
I can't do it, Mr. Krabs. I'm a failure.
Tip number 4 is listen to the sound guy.
You serious?
I know, sound engineers and sound guys on the venues can be quite stressful. Sure, some of them can be really nice, really polite and quite professional. But some of them are just a bunch of assholes. They don't really know quite what they're doing. They don't really know how much of the gear works. Sometimes they show up late.
Hey man, that's not cool.
But yeah, even if the sound guy's a douche, you also should be nice to him. And you should also listen to him. Sure, sometimes they know nothing about what they're talking about. But they're the ones responsible for your sound. And if you're not going to be nice, they're probably not going to be nice to you as well. If the sound guy says,
Oh, maybe you should turn your amp down.
well, maybe turn your amp down, or maybe if he says,
oh, that's too much low end, too much bass, cut it down a little bit.
you gotta cut it down a little bit. If you're not nice and you don't do what the sound guy says, he's probably going to fuck with your sound, and you're probably not going to get the best results. Sound-wise, at least.
In my opinion, that sucked.
But this brings me to my last point, which is, don't be afraid to say what you think. If the sound guy is being a douche, and is like,
Yeah, you gotta turn the amp down.
and the amp is barely up on stage, and you're not really getting much signal on your monitors, well, you're probably not going to hear yourself playing when the rest of the guys start playing. So you gotta say, hey man, maybe I'll turn my amp down, but you gotta give me more guitar on the monitors, or you gotta give me more bass in the monitors. He's there to do his job. If you're not satisfied with what's going on, you gotta say something. Don't be afraid to tell what you think, right? Or maybe let's say that you agreed with the venue to play for like $500. Let's just say $500.
Oh, that's fancy.
And then the guy says, oh hey, I have your money here. Here, have your $400. Don't be shy to say, that's not really what we agreed on. We agreed on $500, not 400. Who knows? Maybe the guy wasn't trying to rip you off. Maybe he just misunderstood or something, and he will grab the full amount of money you need.
I don't believe you.
Or maybe let's say that the gig went really well, and you were really happy with the way it turned out. And even the venue or the sound guy were really cool about it. You gotta mention that to the venue and to the sound guys. Again, if you're nice, they may remember you the next time they're looking for a band.
Okay, I like it. All right.
Or maybe let's say that you agreed to play it at the venue, but you were told you would have access to food and drinks. If they don't really offer you food and drinks, if that's on your contract, you really should bring it up.
Oh, really?
I'm not really saying go and look for a fight, but if something is in your contract, or something was agreed upon, or there's something that you don't really think it's working out correctly, even if you say something and the venue doesn't really care, or the sound guy doesn't really care, it's better for you to give your opinion and talk with someone than to shy out, and I don't know, maybe things can get worse from that. I don't know, I guess that's it for now.
I can't take it anymore! I just want to die! We all want to die!
Thank you so very much for watching. If I was able to help you out in any way possible, please leave it in the comments below. Not only that, but do you have any suggestions for videos? Was there something I missed, something I should have said? Do you have anything to add? Should I do more videos like this one? Please tell in the comment section below.
Yeah, maybe.
As always, I'm giving away free one-on-one Skype lessons, and anyone can enter, but they are limited though, so you gotta be fast. And all you have to do to win one free Skype lesson and discounts on future lessons is to subscribe to my channel, turn on all the notifications, follow me on Instagram and like my Facebook page, and then DM me on one of those social media with screenshots proving that you did everything mentioned before.
How about no?
And yeah, I guess that's it. Again, thank you so very much for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and checking some of my other videos out. Don't forget to turn on all the notifications, and cheers!